Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 8 of Alternate Presidential Histories, second place timeline. And today we have President DeWitt Clinton versus John Eager Howard. I think he's a congressman. I could be wrong. But of course, DeWitt Clinton's popularity is, if we were to give it a number, I'd say 52 to 53. The economy is doing alright. Now, let's go. Now let's start filling out some safe states. Louisiana. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put in Phil. A bunch of these southern states will be safe, easy. All these states right down here are safe. Oh, whoops, I forgot to take these down. Whoopsie poopsie. Some safe pink states, some safe federal states. I would say, honestly, I don't think there would be any safe federal states. I think this would be a giant blowout for Clinton. But North Carolina, Virginia, both those would be likely, as well as Pennsylvania and New York. He'd pick up Vermont by a lean margin. New Hampshire would go to... I also changed the Federalist color. I think this one looks better. He would pick up New Hampshire by a likely margin. Massachusetts would go to... It would be close. It'd be a tilt margin. Forgot to lock the map. It'd be close. It'd be very close. It'd be the closest state yet. Rhode Island would be lean, as well as Connecticut. New Jersey would be likely. I think Delaware would be likely as well. I think he'd pick up Delaware. But Maryland, I would say that would go to lean to DeWitt Clinton. You could say it's under the Mason-Dixon line. A lot of the Democratic Republicans. Actually, Howard would actually pick it up by a tilt margin. Home state factor and all. But here you go, 177 to 40. This is a blowout through and through. The popular vote would be a giant landslide as well. Now, DeWitt Clinton's second term is very eventful. Very eventful. Probably the most eventful it's gotten yet. And, it's not good either. But let's just take a look at that. Alright, we're now going to take a look at DeWitt Clinton's second term. And now let's just take a look at it. 1817, the bonus bill was passed, which is... Well, let me just show you. The bonus bill of 1817 was a legislation proposed by John C. Calhoun to earmark the revenue bonus, as well as future dividends, from the recently established Second Bank of the United States for an internal improvements fund. Opposition to the bill from the sectional rivalries in older eastern states, fearing that providing the settlers travel west would drain their population and create competing states, unless settled areas, including Louisiana, purchased from. Yeah, so pretty much they're wanting to tax, a hypothecation tax. The dedication of the revenue from a specific tax for a particular expenditure purpose. This approach differs from the classical method according to which all government spending is done from a consolidated fund. Internal improvements is the term used historically in the United States for public works from the end of the American Revolution through much of the 19th century, maybe for the creation of transportations, etc., etc. Now, back to this. It is passed, which a lot of people thought of opposition. There was a lot of opposition, but it's passed because DeWitt Clinton actually liked this bill. If you do some research, he actually needed this bill. He actually approved this bill for the Erie Canal, which is still built in this timeline. He actually does it himself. He actually orders it as a federal bill. The First Seminole War still happens, and Mississippi becomes the 20th state. That all stays the same. 1818, nothing new here. The official American flag is made as it was in real life. The Treaty of 1818 is signed between America and the United Kingdom, where they show a pretty fine line between our border, the northern border of the United States. Illinois becomes the 21st state in the Treaty of Tuscaloosa. I'm sorry if I spelled and pronounced that wrong. Is signed pretty much. Andrew Jackson has destroyed the Seminoles pretty much. 1819, there was the Panic of 1819, but due to this, the bonus bill being passed, there is the recession of 1819, because due to this bill, a lot of taxes, the consolidated taxes we just spoke of, is not very popular. A lot of businesses having to close down because, they need government approval, and, the government's not going to, approve right off the gate as they needed, which shuts down a lot of businesses, puts out a lot of workers. It is not good. It's not something like you saw in 2008 or the Depression. It's a very small recession, but it's still one nonetheless, which tanks DeWitt Clinton's approval. And the House begins voting process for annexing Texas. But however, Alabama does become the 22nd state, and Vice President Simon Snyder passes away. DeWitt Clinton sought out Andrew Jackson for the VP slot, but of course Andrew Jackson, knowing that there is a current recession going on, he says, "Nah, fam, I don't want to be paired with you. I don't want to be recognized by your little administration." So Henry Clay becomes the next vice president. 1820, the Texas statehood vote is postponed, because we're trying to figure it, because the House is trying to figure out, okay, how do we get out of this recession? This has not happened to us yet. But Clinton's second term is coined as the era of hard times instead of the era of good feelings, because it is hard times. The Missouri Compromise is passed, and the Land Act of 1820. Those two especially were to instead of making a slave thing or just trying to get people out of trying to get them out into these new areas. It's more like, okay, this will help us with our economy. Now go. There's more to it this time. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Academic One saying peace.